is the Rotary. This is the Rotary master brand. It's true that logos visually communicate an organization's brand, but a brand, like I said, is much more than logos and much more bigger than the wheel. So Kaz, if you'd scroll down a screen, let's see. Oh yeah, so this, oops, actually no, not to the next module. We still had, you need to go, yeah, there's still, this is where I'm going to ask you to, there's basically 5 components here regarding a brand. So Kaz, if you click on that first one, there's the perception of the brand. It's how others think about the organization, not how the organization sees itself. So that's important in terms of external focus versus just an internal focus. And it's also an emotional connection. You want to click on that. It's the bond that the organization has with the public as well as with our members. Third, a brand is it's a promise. It's a commitment to offering unique value and experiences. We're going to talk about some consumer brands in a second to put this all in perspective. Fourth, if you click on, it's a distinct concept. It's how the organization differentiates itself from other organizations. And then lastly, like we talked about, it's more than a logo, but it is a recognizable logo that's used consistently and repeatedly, or when it is used that way, it provides instant recognition and a common understanding. So if you scroll down here, and hopefully this is going to work, but there's a very quick 1-minute video from somebody who's on the big Rotary International Comms Committee. And except we can't hear it. Can people hear it? I don't. Kaz, when you screen shared, if you didn't optimize pick that advanced thing, we might not be able to hear it. Well, y'all can, I can't play it on mine because I don't think that's going to work. But basically, she's making the point that Rotary's brand is an important foundation for membership attraction, for partnering, for basically it's part of the fundamental foundation for how we do good in the world.
Is essential for the survival of any corporation or organization, whether it's a new startup or a legacy organization like ours. When we're competing for the hearts and minds of the public, we especially have to embrace the fact that public image, attracting new members, engaging existing ones, and growing our foundation are synergistically intertwined.
Great, got that to work. So if you'll scroll down, the common elements of powerful brands are have a consistent visual identity and voice, use consistent and compelling communications, offer consistent and positive experiences, and this last point, have brand champions or advocates. And there are some logos that we're all familiar with. And now this module goes through using McDonald's that we're all familiar with as a global example of a consistent visual identity and voice. Making the point that any organization that has a strong visual identity is instantly recognizable without saying a word. No matter where you are in the world, when you see the golden arches, you can be any age, you think, oops, I'm getting some static, you think of McDonald's. A visual identity, as we said before, is more than just the logo, but is the logo, it's the consistent color and brand identity, the fonts, and imaging and photography. And I would actually add in there, we're talking visual, but there's that consistent voice with the messaging around a brand. Oh, well, that's the next paragraph. How about that? So there's the McDonald's logo, consistent, compelling communications. The McDonald's brand message focuses on the customer experience with slogans like we're familiar with, I'm loving it, look for the golden arches, and you deserve a break today. Or in essence, the tagline of I'm loving it. You can scroll down a little bit further. I guess we're still on the module 1, right? Section 1. consistent positive experiences. If you want to scroll down, oh, here's what I wanted to get to, the brand champions. Now my computer's not doing. Brand champions are the people who help communicate and promote what the organization's brand promises. Celebrities can help bring attention to an organization's message, but it's really the consumers, the staff members, and users have the real power to strengthen a brand. So in terms of translating that into Rotary, our members are one of the most powerful brand champions, and our clubs and our activities to be consistent under that umbrella Rotary brand with our club branding. You can scroll down. That might be the bottom of the oh yeah, continue. So now we're going on to what is Rotary's brand. You can scroll down a little bit. There's that vision state, or our, if you go up, stay there, thanks Kaz. Our brand reflects who we are as Rotary and who we want to be. It is our essence. So this is what's called the essence statement. Rotary brings together leaders from all continents, cultures, and occupations to exchange ideas and take action for communities around the world. So how do we want people to think of Rotary? Again, these are those 5 components that we talked about earlier. Rotary is an organization committed to using our connections, experiences, and skills to work together to create lasting change. The emotional connection. Rotary's clubs work with our Rotary clubs work with our communities to develop trust and create bonds so people want to join, donate, volunteer, and work and partner with us. The promise of the Rotary brand is Rotary joins leaders from all continents, cultures, and occupations to exchange ideas and take action, again, to create lasting change in our communities. It's a distinct concept. Uses the diverse perspectives of our 1.2 million members to solve the world's most challenging problems. And then lastly, back to the wheel, the recognizable logo. People become aware of who we are as Rotarians and what we do when Rotary members and clubs consistently and correctly use our logos and templates. The next section, we will see how the strong brand can benefit your club. So making the point that McDonald's has created a brand that, you're going a little bit too fast, there we go. McDonald's brand benefits their recognition. Similarly, each Rotary, now they bring in Rotaract Club, benefits when we all consistently and correctly use Rotary's logos, fonts, colors, and photography to strengthen our brand and to use that as part of our club branding. I don't remember if it makes the point here or in the next module, but the brand guide, the visual identity and brand guidelines for Rotary, just like if you think of like McDonald's franchises, that the club is to have its name with the Rotary master brand, not just using just that master brand. Tying it back to the club level or the district level is important. So here's how the consistent branding helps your club, expands people's understanding of what Rotary does. Research shows that even though people are aware of Rotary, they don't know. This is pretty much, I think we're all aware of this. Know that they don't know everything we accomplish at a global level or at a club level in our local communities. When people in your community understand what Rotary does, they'll be more interested in being a part of your club. Next point, it increases membership for that membership attraction, volunteer attraction, partnerships with other community organizations in your location, as well as donors from the public. Consistent branding helps Rotary. Oops, I missed that point. We're competing with other organizations for people's time, money, and resources, so it's important that we have a consistent visual identity so that we can leverage the unique opportunity to make a difference that our clubs offer. The consistent branding inspires our current members. When members are recognized for the work that Rotary accomplishes, they feel proud and are energized to take more action in their clubs and communities. And last, that consistent branding helps get back to the core of what we're all about. The mission statement, together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe in our communities and in ourselves. Halfway through. So how can we as Rotarians, whether you're a leader in your club or as a club member, strengthen Rotary's brand? People's perception of Rotary comes from their experiences with the club and programs, along with the stories that we tell. We're all champions of Rotary, and now I think you need to click that arrow. Yep. Or is there? Right. So it's important that we consistently use Rotary's correct visual identity in all of your club's communications. And again, Brand Center, Dave Browski will be showing some of the links to the Brand Center in the next hour. You can click to the next caret. Show your community the impact you make. Use the People of Action materials in the Brand Center to show how your people is taking action to make a difference in your community. Next slide. Invite family members, friends, and colleagues to learn more about Rotary by sharing your Rotary experience. Promote your club activities on your website and social media channels. Next. Promote your clubs and events and projects. Obtain Rotary, it is making the point, this has been relaxed a bit. You don't have to you need to make sure you're working with vendors that are using the correct branding and images from the Brand Center, but you can supply them those. So that's not like 50 years ago when the printing industry and everything was different. So we'll go to the next section. Oh, in the next section, yay, is the quiz. So these are pretty straightforward. So I know we were going to try and do these as a poll and it's not working, but Sheila, right? Everybody's going to get credit for attending the course that's
Yes,
on.
they
Yes.
can put their answers in the chat box of what they think the correct answer
Oh, well,
is.
there you go. There you go. Sorry. I've been on Zooms all day.
How's
I didn't
that?
even get that.
Or you can do it, raise your hands.
And I'm not looking at everybody, but basically a brand is a logo. I'll call on Jim Holcomb, Mr. Marketing Expert. What do you think, Jim? True or false?
It's actually both, and I think they're looking for true, but it's actually, as we've seen, it's both. It is a logo, but it's not only a logo.
Correct. So actually, ergo, it's false because it's more than the logo. So if you click on false and click submit, Kaz, it'll show us that answer. I can't. The screen is little, so I can't see the. Yes, it's also perception, emotional connection, promise, and a distinct concept. Next question. How are we doing on time? Where's my clock?
You're fine.
Yep, we're fine. Okay. What are the common elements of a strong brand? Choose one. So if you want to type in the chat, you can get brownie points with Sheila. And maybe I will, let me just get my more people here. And how about, can't have people's last names. How about Jane Nash? Do you want to take a stab at this one? You need to unmute.
All of the above. The visual identity, the consistent and compelling communications, brand champions, consistent and positive experiences, all of those.
And I believe that is correct. Yep.
Yay!
Like I said, it's pretty straightforward. So let's go to question 3. The McDonald's brand is strong because each restaurant has its own unique look and feel. True or false? How about oh, I haven't seen you in ages. How about Colleen?
False.
Correct, because all those franchises need to, they can do unique things, but we all need to be consistent at a high level. All right, how should you create logos and promotional materials that uphold Rotary's brand? Search for Rotary images on the internet, use Rotary's brand center, ask a friend who's a graphic designer to create a logo. Keep using the logo or design you used for years. And how about how about Stan? You want to take a stab?
Yes, use Rotary Brand Center.
Correct, which oftentimes is easier said than done, but because of the vagaries of the technology there. But while we're just here right now, and I'll let and now Kaz, you can queue up the second module. But I think a lot of people or a lot of clubs think, oh, every time I need to use, I need to use a logo for my club, I need to go to the brand center and create one. That's not true. Basically, your club public image person, point person, or committee, can basically create all those, and you just have those in your arsenal for the club. And I know Dave, on the next hour, we're going to be making the point that it's important that your public image chair be in close communication, or really be a part of discussions with your service project committee and your fundraising committee, so that they can take that lead and sort of I don't want to use the term be the branding police, but it's important that everybody has a consistent, it's more time effective as well. And I would also, as a past president, say I think it's important that the president take a look at things before they go out to the public, so because you might be able to catch something that can be leveraged better. Does anybody have any questions at this point? Nope. The second module, building
Well,
road. Or
While
Sheila,
we're switching over to the second module, I will let you know, with the point Diane just made about being consistent and using the brand center and develop a logo for your club specifically and stuff. The zone, which is above the districts, their public image and public relations team are looking specifically at club websites and your social media and contacting the club presidents to let them know. They're willing to help. Diane is always willing to help and answer questions, and Dave, but they are starting to look. Rotary is really, really big now on really embracing our brand and making it bigger than it. It's more than just the wheel. So just so you do know that the brand and the logo police are starting to look around.
right.
So.
Although I don't think they're, I will also say, and I know I'm going to be on for most of the time when Dave is on in the next hour, but I was taking and I failed to say I'm currently in the Falls Church Rotary and have done public image for many years, and now I'm probably going to be changing clubs, but it's like I took a look at several of the other, like, or even my own club's website, and we have what the branding that's there, like on the homepage, is accurate, but we don't really take full advantage of like the people of action and some other things. And I did take a quick look. I'll do a shout out, like Rotary Club of Herndon's doing some fun things on social media, as is Arlington. Fairfax is doing a great job of consistently branding the photographs that they put on social. And I was kind of surprised when I looked at some clubs' websites, they still had old, the old 2013 logo as like their Facebook profile picture and stuff. So like Sheila said, we're resources. We're happy to work with your public image folks. We're happy to speak at a club. I actually have a suggestion that I'm going to put in the chat of a Jennifer Jones talking about storytelling and branding that I know. Well, Alicia, your Centerville club showed that. I was talking with Catherine Reed and we were trying to find something. And it's a 13-minute snippet that you can show at your club to spark conversation, to get folks doing things. So now on this next module, real quick, it's just about the same length as that other one. or the first one, but this is more focused on what is Rotary's public image. And it doesn't go through the logistics of the brand center, but we're just going to talk about some of that some of the voice versus just the visual identity in this module. So just to make the broader point here, Rotary's public image isn't just what we think of ourselves, it's also what people outside, even more important, it's what people outside of the organization think about us and about Rotary. Getting people to recognize Rotary's name is a start, but obviously our work needs to go further. Talking about Rotary in ways that explain what we do and the impact we make is essential. So that's like what I just mentioned, storytelling, telling your own Rotary story, talking about what we as people of action do versus, the elevator speech that talks about how many Rotary clubs there are around the world. You need to reflect the dynamism of, so here was some stuff from the research, I think from 2018, that asking what is Rotary, people's awareness in the general public of Rotary varies widely. We all know that. Research reveals that we can improve our brand recognition. I think folks agree that can be pretty obvious. So here was just a chart, if you want to scroll down, that I was kind of shocked when I looked at this because, and it's too little for me to read, but I was shocked that those countries like India and actually Kenya had very strong recognition of Rotary, much stronger than here in the US. So again, obviously, what do you think of when you hear the term Rotary or Rotary Club? This is kind of a chuckle, but I'm sure we've all heard that firsthand. Gee, is it a secret society? It's a bunch of guys meeting, good old boys meeting, having lunch and singing. It's a phone. That's for the really old folks, but I remember rotary phones. A meeting of company presidents, that perception that you have to be a top leader in your profession to be invited to join a Rotary Club. So the next slide, that survey was from 2018. You want to scroll down, Kaz? Making a good impression. Could our words and behavior unintentionally lead people to misunderstand Rotary? Let's see how various actions can affect Rotary's public image. So, who wants to? Well, this is kind of hard to be interactive, but partnering with local organizations to increase our impact. Does that weaken our public image or strengthen our public image? For the sake of time, I will just have you click on strengthens our public image. Yay. And now, I don't know how you get to the next screen. Oh, there you go. Assuming you don't have to promote your club because everyone knows about Rotary, is that going to weaken or is it going to strengthen?
We
You can
can.
chime in.
Weekend.
Obviously weaken. Here's the next one, promoting our members as people of action. Strengthen or weaken? Yep, I feel like we were going to try and make this a poll too, but it was kind of hard to do. All right, all right, this one is posting photos of members working on service projects. That's going to strengthen your image. I think later there's the point that, pictures of all these good old boys are sitting around a table eating lunch doesn't necessarily strengthen your public image. Pursuing projects.
Diane, before you get on to that one, don't drop that one yet, Kaz, please.
Okay.
I want to talk about the pictures of your members doing service projects. All of those pictures that you see on websites that say, together we are people of action, together we strengthen.
Learn, together we.
You can set up all of those pictures with your own members behind the image of the Rotary statement. Diane's been trying to teach me how to do that for over a year.
It's pretty,
but they're absolutely awesome. And I'll tell you, our club has a couple of them and they love that their picture is up there on the website like that. So keep that in mind when you're looking for pictures from your club members doing service projects.
Right, and that, to Sheila's point, that there's a tool It's called that it is actually now, they finally did put it inside the brand center, but it's basically like POA, People of Action Editor.com. It was a Rotarian that actually on his own developed that, and they, it's really it's quite addictive and quite easy if you've got a graphics person. And like Sheila said, you don't need like to do it every time, but like for example, my Falls Church Club, we had a great food drive, and I got a couple years ago, and I got a great picture of members carrying the boxes, and just the proportions of it worked with Together We Fight Hunger, and we use that all the time. We have Together We Have Fun, and actually I actually would be happy to help because that's a standard Canva font called Permanent Marker for that. I actually can change the wording, so you can even customize it further. But it brings our mission to life and to your individual level. Thanks, DGE Sheila. So did we do this one yet? Oh, pursuing projects and activities that are relevant to your community. Strengthens or weakens. It's kind of like a no-brainer. Strengthens our public image. Again, here's posting lots of photos. Oh, here's this. Posting lots of photos of members at meals or in meetings. The point,
Weekends.
this module wants you to, makes the point. That's kind of like boring. That's not engaging. But in terms of people having fun at meetings and stuff, I would say that can help strengthen to make your club be the place to be. Neglecting to update your website and club logo obviously weakens. And again, you don't need to be updating the website, 5 times a day, but at least refreshing it, or taking a look to make sure your weekly speakers or your programs are on there. Can't go wrong with that. Oh yeah, here's a good one. Posting photos that don't reflect the diversity of your club and community. That's going to weaken your image. Involving past Rotary program participants in club activities.
Shout them out, guys.
Diane, strengthen your image. Inviting only members to participate in your club's community events.
Weekend.
Right. It's not taking advantage of leveraging those opportunities. And then having a diverse club membership. Is that going to strengthen your image, your public image, or weaken it? It's going to strengthen it, hopefully. Oh, is that the last one? Oh, gosh, this is long. Doing the same project every year because members love it.
Weekend.
If I had to pick, I would say weekend. Although it doesn't mean that, like, for example, the Vienna Club with Viva Vienna, they're doing something new and exciting with it every year. So they're keeping it fresh. Oops, so I guess we got 11 out of 12 correct on that. Okay, thanks, Kaz. Next module. Okay, high level, the benefits of a strong public image. Why is it important to improve? And I'm going to substitute Rotary for our club, our Rotary Club's public image, because just knowing about Rotary often isn't enough to spark people's interest and spur them to get involved. I suspect that I'm preaching to the choir to say we've all experienced that. And then here is Rotarian Sharon with another quick video snippet.
We all know the great strides that we've made, but to outsiders, we're still seen by some as a good old boys club. And for many, that translates into an organization that's just not relevant or appealing. Many people don't understand what we do. They don't understand how to get involved. Why? Well, pretty simply, in most cases, it's because they've never been told and they've never been asked. We must overcome this by showcasing our diversity, our value, by being welcoming and inclusive to those outside of our organization.
So again, the point that Sharon's making too, I think helps emphasize that public image and perception and our visual identity does underpin all those other good that we're trying to do in the world, and membership attraction. And here's to that point, prospective members. When you tell stories about how your club is making a difference, it inspires the interest of prospective members. And it also, I would say, or it might be another point here, it helps inspire your current members as well. So let's click on the next one. Oh, there we go. See, I'm stealing my own thunder. Promoting your club's good work in local news media and on social media can also engage your current members and make them excited about keeping members involved is much easier when they take pride in your club's accomplishments to change lives. Volunteers, donors, and partners. People in the community obviously are more likely to donate their time, talent, and treasure when they see the impact of your club's projects firsthand. It's also easier to find local partners to work with when they know and trust your club and your club members. So enhancing your club's public image also helps your club stand out from the other opportunities that members of your community have to donate, volunteer, and get involved. Next slide. Public image in your community. As a Rotary member, as we said earlier, you're an ambassador for our brand because you have direct experience. You're in the best position, all of us as Rotarians, not just the leadership, to raise awareness and understanding among those who don't know us. Your club's interactions with the community greatly influence how people think about Rotary. Next slide. Let's see. Help your club build a strong public image in your community. Publicize your projects and activities to influence how your club is perceived. I would also mention on social media, like including your club logo, branding those photos so that it sticks in people's mind. Share stories. Again, storytelling about how your club's projects affect and change the lives of people in your community. Present your club as vibrant and your members as people of action. So now we're going to click on the headings to learn more about ways to strengthen your club's public image. Social media was the first one. That's kind of like a no-brainer, I think. But again, you don't need to be on every single platform. You can decide. It doesn't mean you need to do updates every single day. I think this is highlighting events, plan activities that are relevant to your community. You know, if you've done a community needs assessment, make sure your website shows up-to-date information about your club. Like I said earlier, at a minimum, have your weekly or your bi-weekly speakers updated, and especially now in times of COVID, are you meeting, in person, hybrid, on Zoom? And let's click on partnerships. Work with local organizations to increase both your visibility and your impact. Does anybody have an example of how their club has partnered with other entities in their location on an event?
Yes, Diane, we partner with the Salvation Army, and we work very closely with them and their Angel Tree program during the Christmas holidays. We also partner with Fairfax Christian Ministry in their food bank program.
Thanks, Felicia. I do know from seeing things on clubs' Facebook pages, it seems like the Salvation Army partnership really caught fire this past holiday season, or at least many clubs were posting their photos of ringing the bell. So that was pretty cool. Does anybody else have some examples? I can think of.
We partner with the
Sterling
local schools.
Rotary.
Colleen?
Sterling Rotary works with Food for Neighbors and their food drives that they're doing. The next one is this Saturday. And then we put out the pictures on our website.
And then also it's a good idea, like I think your club does, tag that nonprofit partner when you post it on social media, because in all likelihood, I did social media for a couple nonprofits before I retired from full-time day work, and I would even say tag other groups, like the Chamber of Commerce and stuff, because they're often eager to share things out for you. Did somebody else have something to add? Nope.
Well, yeah, this is Stan. We have partnered with our local Kiwanis Club, who is one of our strong competitors, but on the other hand, we've worked well together with each other on road cleanups and also jointly working with other community activities here together. So that's been overall, it's been a positive strength for both clubs.
Great. And Stan, what club are you? I'm sure.
Middlesex.
Oh, great. Oh, great. Anybody else have anything to add just now?
Jim Holcomb has his hand up, Diane.
Oh, yep, I see him. Hey, Jim.
Yeah, the only comment I'd make is it's okay to have partnership, but you got to remember what they mentioned in some of the previous modules. You got to differentiate yourself because we're all competing for the same membership and presence.
Right. But again, abundance mentality. So, but I get your point. Anybody else have other comments, or we can get to the final section, I think, here. Oh, actually it already is the quiz. So awesome. So there's 5 questions. It's what our members think about Rotary that establishes our public image. True or false? How about Sharice Taylor? I see on my screen.
I'm going to say false.
I believe that is correct because the point here that they're trying to make is that it's the external focus. It's more than just what the members think. Yep, there you go. Kind of a tricky question. Okay, on this one, check all of the actions that contribute to a positive public image. Oh, here we go back to some of those things we were talking about. So, actions that contribute to a positive public image: posting lots of photos of members enjoying lunch or attending meetings, only updating your club website once a year, keeping club activities private for members only, making sure that your club's membership reflects the diversity of your community, and then the last one, collaborating with community partners.
Yes.
So we can check all that apply. Anybody want to chime in?
I think this too is correct.
I think we can agree that only updating your club website once a year is not going to contribute to a positive image. Keeping club activities private just for members is probably not either. And I think, yeah, it's just those last 2 that is the answer that they wanted here. There you go. So let's see, 3 of 5. A positive public image can, and again, check all that apply, attract members, volunteers, partners, and donors, make Rotary stand out from other organizations, inspire current members, and or expand our reach. Who wants to take that one? How about Waverly from Lake Ridge? Got to unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I
No
think
problem.
they all apply. The attracting members, volunteering, inspiring, and expanding our reach.
I think that's correct. Thank you. And then we just got 2 more questions here. If community members know the Rotary name, that should be enough to inspire them to get involved. True or false?
False.
False.
I think that's pretty obvious that that's false. We're more than a name, and people can have a false perception of the name too. And this last one, again, kind of like a no-brainer. Our Rotary members are in the best position to strengthen our public image. True or false? Drum roll. True. We're all ambassadors for how our club and our activities and our ability to change the world is perceived. Awesome. So that's the end of that module. I'll also recommend, I know I personally haven't been in the Learning Center to enroll or do a lot of the classes, but when I was looking at the public section there, I would highly encourage, if not you as the president, but encourage, who will be or your current public image committee or person or members, the module that's called Our Logo, representing Rotary, is the one that really has a lot of examples from the Brand Center and instructions about the Brand Center regarding your club logo and then the appropriate way for an activity or for an event, like let's say it's Viva Vienna, the appropriate way to show your club logo side by side with the event logo and sort of those do's and don'ts. Like, don't include, if you're doing a bicycle race, it's not appropriate to use the rotary wheels as the wheels of the bicycle. So that one, our logo representing Rotary, I think it's about a 20-minute one, but that was very helpful. I'm going to show it to some of my club members, I think. Any other questions? Or I know we're going to get into things at 6:30. Dave's got a PowerPoint slideshow with some information. And are any of you aware, and maybe many of you that are existing presidents, the Public Image Committee, we did send out a short, I think it was a 10-question public image survey about some of the challenges the clubs were facing. And so Dave's got some of that data to talk through again, to talk about some of the ways that y'all in your leadership roles will be able to move things forward come July. Sheila, do you have other stuff to add?
No, Diane, this was absolutely wonderful. Even though I've done all the classes, just going through it again as a refresher is always so good. One thing that I do know is that they're always updating the lesson plans in the Learning Center. And when new things come out, they are really good about getting the classes, the sessions that are in here, updated to reflect if there's any changes in the code of policies or anything. They have an entire organization that manages all of the lesson plans to make sure they are constantly updated with the current regulations and the current code of policies.
Yeah,
So,
I'll also chime in that there's a lot of stuff there. Again, I hadn't been in a while, but there's, that applies to, no matter where you are in your profession in terms of true leadership presentation skills. There's all these Toastmaster different things. I think my eyes are bigger than my stomach, but I think I enrolled in about 90 different things. But you can take your pace. But it also occurs to me, I'll just add, that I think it would be fun even before clubs, you could be having big meetings again, but I think it would be fun to be with a couple club members and, at a Starbucks and have a laptop and go through some together, as sort of a,
absolutely.
it doesn't have to be part of a formal
Absolutely.
meeting, but it makes it a little bit more fun and interactive.
Yes. Wonderful. Diane, this was terrific.
You're welcome.
Thank you so very much. So what we're going to do, it's 6:23 right now. Let's take a 7-minute break. Do not log off. Just put your mute on and turn off your video and get a drink or a glass of wine or a beer or something.